So now we will see what is using critical path analysis to make schedule trade-offs. So how we can use the critical path analysis in order to make the schedule a balanced schedule using the incompatible features. Number one is basically free slack or free float. What is free slack and free float? It is basically the amount of time an activity can be delayed without delaying the early start of any immediately following activities. So it's amount of time that we can use in order to delay an activity, but this delay will not affect the early start of the immediately following activities. Now we will see what is total slack or total float. It is the amount of time an activity may be delayed from its early start without delaying the planned project finish dates. So basically it is the amount of time an activity can be delayed from its early start without delaying the planned project finish completion date. We can delay the early start, but it will not affect the finish date of the planned project. Similarly, a forward pass through the network diagram determines the early start and finish date. What is a forward pass? It is basically how early and we can start an activity and how early we can finish an activity is basically called a forward pass. And what is a backward pass? It determines the late start and late finish dates. So how late we can start an activity and how late we can finish some activity without delaying the planned project finish dates. The same thing you have to remember for the forward pass. So how we will calculate the early and late start and finish dates? We have this network diagram in which activities are represented by these boxes, and as you all can see, at the left top corner of this box we have placed early start. Similarly, on the right top corner of this box we have early finish. Similarly, at the bottom left corner we have the late start, and at the bottom right corner we have the late finish. So this is early start, early finish for some activity which will be placed here, and this is the late start and late finish duration that you will place here for some activity. So you can place the values over here on these boxes, like this one is the start state. The early start and early finish for the start state will be 0. Similarly, the late start and late finish will be 0 for this activity. The next activity is activity A. The duration for this activity is 5. So the early start for this activity will be 0 and early finish will be 5. Similarly, the late start will be 5 and the late finish will be 10. The next activity C has a duration 7 with the early start 10 and early finish 17. Similarly, it has the late start 10 and the late finish duration 17. The next activity will have the activity B with the early start 0 and early finish 10. The late start for activity will be 0 and the late finish will be 10. So in this way we will place the early start, early finish and late start, late finish values on the given activity box. In the next slides we will learn that how to calculate the durations like early start, early finish, late start, late finish. So here we will learn that how to use the critical path to shorten a project schedule. Basically we have three main techniques for shortening schedules. Shortening duration of critical activities, tasks by adding more resources or changing their scope. So if we want to reduce the duration of the critical activities or tasks, we can do is by multiplying the resources, and we can change the feature sets or the scope. Crashing activities by obtaining the greatest amount of schedule compression for the least incremental cost. We have a technique which is called crashing, and basically it is reducing project schedule time by crashing activities for the least incremental cost. So basically crashing is reducing project's completion time is called crashing. Like a 2-week task with one person working 50% could be shortened to 1 week if the person is assigned 100% task, no increase in the cost. Another example is, or a temporary worker could be hired to work in parallel with the other worker to speed up the task. What we can do is we can assign all of the work to the same person who has to complete a task which is based on 2 weeks in 1 week duration. So in this way there will be no increase in the cost. The second way that we can adopt is we can hire a temporary worker who can work in parallel with the other person to speed up the task at some cost. So project crashing is basically the project will sometimes have deadlines that are impossible to meet using normal procedures. By using normal procedures, sometimes there are chances that we cannot meet the deadline of the project, which will put our project in risk. So in order to make the project successful and to meet the deadlines, we have exceptional methods. So by using these exceptional methods, it may be possible to finish the project in less time than the normal required. So using some other methods, it is possible to finish the same project in the less time than the normal planned time in order to meet the deadlines. However, this usually increases the cost of the project. It means you have less time but you have to work more. So for putting more efforts you will be paid. So we can say reducing a project completion time is basically called crashing. In order to reduce the project completion time, we need to crash the certain activities of the project, and basically it is called crashing. The crashing a project starts with using the normal time to create the critical path. Basically, crashing a project will start with the normal timings to create the critical path. The normal cost is the cost for completion the activity using the normal procedures and durations. If the project will not meet the required deadlines, extraordinary measures must be taken. We must be very careful if there are chances of schedule overruns. The crash time is the shortest possible activity time and will be required additional resources. It is a time which is the shortest possible time in order to complete some activity with the additional resources. And the crash cost is the price of completing the activity in earlier than the normal time. 4 steps to project crashing. Find the normal critical path and identify the critical activities. Number 1, you have to find the normal critical path and then you have to find the critical activities of that critical path. Number 2, compute the crash cost per week or other time period for all activities in the network using the formula. Crash cost per time period is equals to crash cost minus normal cost divided by normal time minus crash time. So now we will see that how we can calculate the crash cost per week. For example, which is Journal Foundry example, crash and normal times and cost for activity B will be like on this graph. On x-axis we have time in weeks 1, 2 and 3, and on y-axis we have the activity cost. The normal activity cost in order to complete a task and the normal time for the completion will be plotted here. So for activity B, the normal cost is $30,000 and the normal time for completion is basically 3 weeks. In order to complete the project or activity earlier than the planned, we will complete the activity B in 1 week with activity cost 34,000. So again we will plot the points over the graph. So this one is the crash time and cost, and this one is the normal time and cost. So how we will calculate it? The crash cost is basically 34,000 minus the normal cost was 30,000 divided by the normal time was 3 weeks minus the crash time was 1 week. So we will get $2,000 per week. If we will increase the duration, there are chances that we cannot deliver the project on time. So by crashing activities, we can deliver a software project as early as possible. So in this case, we will spend $2,000 per week extra every week in the normal cost.